The second principle I want to talk about today is commitment and consistency. This is a very powerful principle in the book, Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, that's used all the time. And we like to be seen as consistent. Have you ever heard of somebody saying, you know what, in 3 months I'm going to run my first marathon? They tell everybody they know, they put it on social media. There's probably some times during that 3 months where they're like, I don't know if I want to run this marathon. But they've made a commitment and they want to be seen as consistent to their friends and to their social group. So commitments, and especially public commitments, are very powerful. So I went to this real estate class that was 8 weeks long, and it was a lead generating class. The requirement for the class was to make 20 contacts per day, every day. And that's a lot. If you don't think that that's a lot, go try and talk to 20 people that you don't know to develop potential leads every single day. 20 contacts a day was the minimum requirement. But there was also this thing they called the Bold 100. So you get a pin if you actually completed this, and that was getting 100 contacts in one day. And you could do it anytime you wanted over the 8 weeks. You didn't have to do it. But the instructor was smart. So at the beginning of the class, this is my first time in the class, there's about 90 people in the class. The instructor walks up and says, who thinks they would like to join the Bold 100? Who wants to do that? And get 100 contacts in one day. Of course, I looked around and raised my hand. Me and 5 other people. I should have known out of 90 that that was a clue. This probably wasn't a great idea. So me and 5 other people. So he says, why don't you 6 of you, come up in front of the class. Come up in front here. So I'm like, oh, okay. So we all walked up. He put us in front of everybody, in front of the whole 90 people. He gave us our pins for the Bold 100 right then. And it's like, okay, what's the catch here? He said, well, here's what's going to happen. Next week, when we reconvene for our class, you're going to tell us all how you did it, how you got your Bold 100, or why you failed. Now, that is a really powerful invoking the law of commitment, right? Commitment and consistency. So every one of us did it. Long story short, the next week, all 6 of us got in front of the group, and we all told exactly what we did, how we got our Bold 100. It was not fun. It takes about 7 to 8 hours. I mean, it's an all-day commitment to do this, but we all did it. But the funny thing was, why did we do it? Did we do it, do you think, because we wanted to expand our business and get a lot more contacts, which seems obvious, right? No. We all did it because we didn't want to stand up in front of the entire group of 90 agents and look like fools because we made a commitment and now we failed. So being consistent and having a commitment to somebody publicly is very powerful. That's a very powerful method of persuasion. So be careful what you commit to. We'll talk about that later. You know, when you learn to say no to some things, because every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So really think through what your commitments are. Advertisers know this. Publishers and marketers are very good at getting us to commit to things. Then we really feel strongly that we probably should follow through with it. So be careful what you commit to in the first place. I want to hear your comments below. Have you ever experienced this? Has ever peer pressure or this commitment thing ever happened to you? I'd love to hear it.